What's going on at UW campus with I think it's now fair to say the establishment of at least the intention of an occupation by the Pro-Hamas, Free Palestine, let's remake the swastika as a symbol of liberation. These are the same people who have been occupying Columbia, MIT, University of Texas at Austin. Where else are they? Harvard, you name it. That's all over the country. And isn't it curious that it all just seems to be the same protests, same tents, same signs. And now it's at University of Wisconsin. They waited until after the Mifflin Street Block Party because they had to get radical and destroy a bunch of stuff drunk before they decided to occupy the campus. Now, Skylar Croy, who is an attorney with the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, joins me on the phone on the Middleton Ford hotline to give us an update because you were there. Are you still there or did you go home?
I'm in my car in a parking lot on State Street at this point, but I was there for a couple hours, Vicki.
Okay. Is it fair to say that it doesn't look like they're going to be taking those tents down tonight?
No, they're not. And in fact, they appear to have either catered dinner or someone made quite the Costco run. They also have a ton of Ian's Pizza that someone paid for, or perhaps it was donated, I don't know. But the fact that they have a good supply of dinner ready to go, the tents are still set up, I don't think they're going anywhere. And in fact, in the past hour and a half, 2 hours, when I was there, they actually appeared to me to be trying to expand out the tents. So not necessarily putting up more tents, but trying to move the tents outward and in a circle to try and take up more space.
Yeah, occupy more space, right? So how many people are we talking so far? Best guess.
I would estimate 150, 200 maybe. It is a little hard to tell kind of along the outskirts of it. There's a lot of people, potentially like myself, who are just watching. So it's a little kind of hard to tell exactly where the boundary line is on it.
So let's be clear, it's not legal to do this. And in fact, the University of Wisconsin administration put out an email on Thursday, I believe, saying don't do it. It's not going to be tolerated. Are you under the impression that University of Wisconsin police, City of Madison police, anybody is preparing not to tolerate this?
So the only people I saw down there were University of Wisconsin police, and they weren't doing anything. They were just kind of standing on the outskirts of the protest, observing. I don't think they're going to do anything. And while I think it was maybe in some ways a good thing to warn students, I'm also wondering now if some of the students basically said, well, that's a double dog dare. Now we have to do it. And now they're there, Vicki. Give
me some of the rhetoric that you've been seeing. Actually, let's go over the list of rules. You're, as an attorney, were video recording some of what was going on, and you were told that that's against the rules, huh?
Yes, so they actually have a list of, I think it's 11 or 12 rules that are actually posted on like a big sign. And Rule 6 is, quote, no photos or videos without consent. Rule 7, just because it's interesting, I'll share this one too. No sharing information with police or UW admin. Twice today, because I was taking photos and videos of what was going on, I had someone from the protest, I hate to use that word, occupation, I'll go with that. Someone from the occupation come up to me and tell me that I should stop videotaping and stop filming. They were somewhat polite about it, but in the last, say, 20 seconds, more or less said that bad things could happen if I didn't stop.
Really? So and I know that you sent me some of the video. You said, I'm an attorney with the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, and I have a constitutional right to do this. And the response to that was, yeah, but, right? It was like,
right,
we don't really care. We're going to tell you what the law is.
Right. It was, we have our own community guidelines here, even though we are on a public space that everyone's welcome to be on. And suddenly these guys believe in orders and strict law enforcement, but only of their made-up community guidelines.
Is everyone welcome? Because it says here, do not engage with Zionist counter-protesters. Is everyone really welcome there?
So a couple of students told me, and I want to be clear, I didn't witness it firsthand, but I've been told that students, as they were walking by, who appeared Jewish, were shouted at Heil Hitler.
Well, that's curious because they're trying to remake the swastika as a symbol of, the globalized the Intifada. These pro-Hamas people are maybe not at UW, but curious.
And in fact, it's good you brought that up. On the sidewalk, there's chalk right around this courtyard area, and there's two sayings that I thought were really interesting. Globalize the Intifada, which I understand.
Oh, they wrote infantada. Okay, sorry.
And I understand that to mean more or less get rid of the Jews. Zionism is terrorism is another one that was written down. And then, quote, do not be complicit in a modern Holocaust, free Palestine. So those were all there. Also, just a really kind of interesting tidbit here, at least I thought it was interesting. The tents actually have the Venmo accounts of the tent owners taped to them. So I just got one photo of it. I wasn't going to post it on Twitter because I don't want anyone actually donating to this, but it is curious that if you go up to the tent, you can actually see the accounts that they're using to get the money to pay for this shenanigans.
Interesting. So are the tents, from what I can see, they look like they were provided by the same group. They look
I'm
like
not 100% sure.
They look like they match.
Yeah, I don't. There are a lot of matching kind of green tents, or at least tents of similar color and design. I'm not exactly sure how they got a hold of all of those, but that's a little curious. As I mentioned earlier, I'm also very curious as to the dinner aspect of this and the food aspect. There's obviously a lot of food that someone's paying for that's either being donated to this. Two other things I just want to make sure I mention before I forget, Vicki. I'm told, and I haven't looked it up, but I'm told by one of my colleagues, not only is there a rule that prohibits the tents, but there is also a rule that prohibits sidewalk chalk in the courtyard area. So that's potentially a violation. And they also have at least one sign that is up on a building itself. And I'm guessing that's probably a third rule violation, because I don't think students can just go to, it was the Wisconsin Historical Society. I don't think they can just go there and put up stuff on the outside of it. So I think there's multiple rules that are potentially not being enforced here. Have you seen Wisconsin Capitol Police? Have you seen, anybody? Have you noticed any statements from Governor Evers or the Attorney General? Anybody from State Patrol weighing in on this? How about the Sheriff of Dane County? Sean Barnes, is he talking? I have not seen anything like that, although I will admit I was focused on some other things for just observing the protest over the past few hours. But I have not seen any statements. And again, the only law enforcement I saw there were the UW police. It's possible that earlier in the day, when this was kind of all getting started, maybe there were other agencies there, but the only people I saw were UW.
All right. And so nothing's going to happen. So at least so far, nothing's going to happen. So I guess this is now property of whatever group is paying for the Ian's Pizza. Maybe Ian's Pizza itself. Who knows?
Yeah, I really have no idea. And Vicky, I think this is going to get worse before it's over. I don't know if I'll come back tonight or not. I have some other things I'd like to do, but I'm tempted to come back tonight and watch this a little bit because I formerly served in the National Guard. I've been out for a while now. But in my experience with these kinds of issues here in Madison, I was on duty for the BLM riots a few years ago. Everything gets worse at night. I hope that I'm wrong on that, but I would not be surprised if we see shenanigans tonight. And I do think they're going to be here a while.
Yeah.
At least
so,
overnight, for sure.
yeah. Well, thank you for the efforts on behalf of the National Guard. I do appreciate that. But yeah, things never get better at night, ever, when it comes to riotous occupations. If this thing is going to start going sideways, it's going to start going sideways after dark. I do appreciate the report. Thanks. And thanks for going down there.
Not a problem.
Not many people wanted to. So I appreciate the guts that you showed doing that. Skylar Croy, Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty.